Can you imagine this? In 2026, the world's only superpower, the United States, could actually lose to a country it has sanctioned and pressured for over 40 years. I know it sounds like one of those what-if history documentaries, but this is real. This is Professor Jiang, a game theory expert whose two previous predictions, shared through Donald Trump, have already come true. And now, everyone is waiting for his third. Let that sink in. The US losing? That's like watching your smartphone get beaten in a thumb wrestling contest by a flip phone. Yep, that's shocking. This isn't a small claim. If this prediction comes true within months, the money in your bank account could start feeling, well, like monopoly money, and the global order completely rewritten. Today, we're going to peel back the curtain on a secret strategy the mainstream media won't show you. How is Iran, with drones worth only a few $100s, taking on America's trillion-dollar pride? And could Donald Trump be pushing the world into chaos just to extend his powers? Let's start with Professor Jiang's track record. His first prediction: Trump would win a second term. Nailed it. Second prediction: as soon as Trump returned to power, a devastating war between the US and Iran would erupt. Also true. Now comes the third prediction, and this one's a doozy. According to Jiang, the US could face a crushing defeat. And before you roll your eyes, this isn't some random guess. It's based on deep strategic analysis. Imagine being so confident you bet your lunch money and losing. That's the US in this scenario. Iran hasn't just been twiddling its thumbs. They've been preparing for over 20 years. For them, this is the final showdown against the US, which they view as a major adversary. Last June, Iran tested the battlefield, and they weren't just shooting missiles. No, they were studying American and Israeli defense systems, weaknesses, and tactics. 8 months to prepare for the next strike. While the US thought they were negotiating, nope, Iran was just buying time. Iran isn't going in guns blazing. Instead, it's using proxies: Yemen's Houthis, Lebanon's Hezbollah, Palestine's Hamas. Together, they've read the US military's playbook like a bestseller. Their strategy? Not just to attack troops, but to hit the backbone of the American empire, the economies of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and Bahrain. And they're not messing around. Iran is targeting water systems. Did you know these countries get over 60% of their drinking water from desalination plants? Imagine a single low-cost Iranian drone taking one out in Riyadh. In 2 weeks, 10 million people would be without water. Yes, 2 weeks. That's not just inconvenient, that's disaster. And let's not forget the Strait of Hormuz, a lifeline for 90% of Gulf food exports. The average person thinks, oh, some delays, maybe food gets expensive. Wrong. Iran is threatening the survival of these nations. And this is where the petrodollar system comes in, something many people hear about but rarely understand. Since the 1970s, most of the world's oil has been sold in US dollars. Countries like Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states sell their oil in dollars, which means any country that wants to buy oil first has to buy US currency. That constant demand keeps the US dollar strong and allows the United States to finance its massive economy, its military spending, and even its national debt. But here's the important part. Those same oil-producing countries don't just keep the dollars they earn. They reinvest them back into the United States, buying US government bonds, investing in American companies, and putting billions into US stock markets and technology sectors. In other words, the global oil trade doesn't just power cars and factories. It helps power the entire American financial system. So if a major conflict in the Gulf disrupts oil exports or destabilizes those countries, it wouldn't just create an energy crisis. It could shake the very foundation of the petrodollar system that the US economy depends on. You might wonder, why can't the US just shoot these drones down? The US military was built for the Cold War. Expensive, complex, and focused on technological superiority. Back then, the question was, who has the biggest missile? Today's battlefield? Cheap, simple weapons can destroy extremely expensive systems. A recent video from Israel shows this perfectly. A single Iranian missile approached, and despite 11 interceptors, it wasn't stopped. Meanwhile, Iranian Shahed drones, built entirely in Iran and Russia, are low-cost, easy to operate, and can fly 2,000 kilometers with only 100 liters of fuel. Here's a fun analogy. Stopping one of these drones with a multi-million-dollar missile is like trying to stop a mosquito using a cannon. Spoiler, it's not going to end well. Now, let's get to why Trump is pushing this war. 1. Overconfidence. He believes past wins make the US unstoppable, like early Hitler in Europe. 2. Political and financial gain. Gulf allies and Israel are backing him, giving both money and leverage. 3. Strategic power play. The war reshapes global influence and pressures rivals in a multipolar world. America is fighting a war it cannot afford. Gulf states' survival, the petrodollar, and US AI investments are all at stake. If Iran and its proxies succeed, the US influence could collapse, and a multipolar world could rise. Think about it: cheap drones, strategic strikes on water and food, blocked sea routes, and low-cost asymmetric warfare, combined with overconfidence and political motives. The result? A perfect storm that even the world's strongest military can struggle to handle. So what's the takeaway? The third prediction of Professor Jiang, after 2 confirmed hits, is unfolding right before our eyes. Even if the US wins, the losses will be enormous. History has shown that attacking Iran is like cutting off your own legs while trying to kick someone else. Now, what do you think? Could the US really lose to Iran? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And while we wait to see how this unfolds, remember one thing: the future is never as predictable as we think, especially when small drones and strategic minds are involved.